Okay, in this instalment we are going to sort out the patterns we're going to use in our project, and we're also going to create some. So before we start doing anything, I'm here at the main menu. I'm going to go to Utilities. I'm going to touch Library Maintenance, Pattern Library, and I'm going to select Move, because we're going to move the patterns we're going to use into their own catalogue, so they're easy for us to find when we're actually working on the project. So I'm going to use Search. I'm going to put in the name of the first pattern, which is INTF2. You all have these patterns. Enter. And IQ has found 3 copies. I've obviously got 2 in the recycle bin and 1 here. So I'm going to select this one, and I am going to touch Move. Would you like to leave a copy of this pattern in this catalogue? No, because it's in the search catalogue. This is the name of the pattern. I'm going to keep that and hit Enter. And now I'm going to choose this new catalogue to put that pattern in. So I need to give that a name. I'm going to hit Select. Let's select this. Let's select. There we go. I didn't touch it. So now I'm going to give the catalogue a name, and I will call it Project. Let's just delete that. I'm going to put a space first, space, then Project. Having the space in front of the name will put this catalogue at the top of my library, so it'll be easy to find. I won't have to do any scrolling. Enter. Okay, so now I'm going to search for my next pattern, so I'm going to hit Search. And this pattern is CQ Feather. So CQ Feather. Enter. Okay, and there it is. Again, there are 2 copies popping up here. One I have in the recycle bin, I see, and the other I have in another catalogue. So I am going to touch this pattern. I'm going to select Move. Would you like to leave a copy of this pattern in this catalogue? No. There's its name. I'm going to keep it the same name. Enter. And I'm going to put it into my project catalogue. Select. Okay, so now we're going to search for the next pattern. And we are going to put in Heart. Enter. Okay, IQ's found a lot of heart patterns. I want this one, just this plain heart, right? So that's the one I am going to touch, because it's the one I want to move. Move. Would you like to leave a copy of this pattern in this catalogue? No. There's its name, Heart. Enter. I'm going to put it in my project catalogue, which is highlighted. Okay, that's 3 patterns. So now we're going to search again for Simply Feathered. Space Feathered. Enter. Okay, IQ has found, again, multiple copies of the same pattern. This is a corner pattern, we want that, and we want this. This is going to be our border, and we're going to use this to create a new pattern. So I am going to select this one and this one. I'm going to move them both. Move. No, I don't want to leave copies here. Put them in my project catalogue. And they're there. Okay. Now we're going to do search, and I'm going to put lob. Enter. Now I've got lob and lob cont, which is lob continuous. If you have lob continuous, choose that. If you don't have lob continuous, then just choose lob. I'll choose lob. I'll make it continuous for those of you who don't have that one. So let's choose that one. Move. No. enter, put it in project, select. Okay, one more search, search. We want spiral 2. This is the one we want. So I'm going to select that, hit move. No, I don't want to leave a copy. Spiral 2, put it in project. So now let's just click on project, and those are all the patterns that we are going to use in this project. So I'm going to back out of here. I'm going to back out to the main menu, and now we'll start working on them. So some of those patterns I'm going to use to create others, so that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go design sew quilt, start new, block pattern. And before I go any further, I'm going to go here to the preference, and I'm going to disable both of these because I want IQ to put the pattern in the block exactly as I have it in my library. I don't want it to rotate it, I don't want it to flip it. So I'm going to hit pattern rotation while flipping enabled, touch the minus sign to disable it. Then I'm going to touch pattern flipping while fitting enabled, and I'm going to touch the minus sign to disable it. Finished. Right. How do you want to define the block? Enter rectangle manually. And we have width 10, that's good. Height 10 inches, that's good too, so enter, continue. This block has nothing to do with our project, it's just one I need to put the pattern in so that I can work on them. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to hit finished, I'm going to choose heart from my project catalogue. There it is. I'm going to scale it down to 100%, so I'm going to hit scale, change it to 100. Okay, I'm going to move the start end point, so I'm going to hit start end, and I'm going to drag it round to here. We can zoom in if you want to see it a bit better. Let's move it so it's right at the point. Good, okay. Yeah, that's good. So let's zoom out again. Yeah, that's good. What I'm going to do is create a double heart. So there's one, so I'm going to hit finished. Oops, add edit pattern, too many clicks there. Copy pattern, copy the heart, continue. Now I'm going to scale this heart down to 80%. And I'm going to move it so that the start and end points of both hearts match. And again, let's zoom in to make sure they really do. Yes, good. Let's go zoom full. Okay. That's the pattern I want. I've got two separate ones right now. I have to combine them. So I'm going to hit finish, combine patterns. I'll have it stitch the outside pattern first. It says select the first pattern to combine. Oh yes, I did that. Continue. Select the next pattern to combine, which will be this one. Continue. So now those two hearts have become one pattern. Finished. So before I do anything else, I'm going to save them. So I'm going to hit finished, save quilt pattern, save a pattern from the quilt, select the pattern to save by touching one of its points, this one. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to clear out heart, and I'm going to call it let's do shift, let's do double heart. And it's going to go into my project catalogue. Now if you want to keep that heart, remember to put a copy of it somewhere else too. because at the end of this project we will get rid of that project catalogue because we don't need it anymore. We'll have done all the work. We don't need those patterns sorted out. So be sure to save that in another catalogue if you want to keep it. Okay, let's go add edit pattern. Let's delete this one. Now we are going to create the pattern that we're going to use in our center block. So we are going to go add pattern, block pattern, use current block. Again, we're at our project catalogue and I'm going to get this simply feathered border corner. Continue. Okay, let's scale that down to 50%. Okay, I'm going to move it over a bit. Alright, finished. Now I want a nice square pattern to put in the middle of the quilt. And this is one corner, so I'm going to copy this pattern. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Let's change the degree button till it says 90. And then I'll hit the arrow. And now I'm going to move that pattern and I will grab the start point and I'm going to move it until it snaps to the end point. Now again, zoom in to make sure they really are snapped together. Yep, that's good. Zoomed out again. Alright, let's pan up a bit. Okay, finished. So there's half my block pattern. So now I'm going to go copy patterns again, this one and this one. Rotate, 90, 90. Move. See what I did? I turned it that way. I'm going to grab that start point and I'm going to snap it there. Again, I'm going to zoom in so I can really make sure that those are snapped together. Yes, and I'm going to pan over to the other side to make sure those are snapped together. Yes, good. All right. So there's the pattern we're going to use in the center of our quilt. See how easy it is to make your own motif from a corner border design. But right now these are 4 separate patterns and so we need to combine them first before we save it. So I'm going to hit finished, combine patterns, select the first pattern to combine, this one, continue, the next one, this one, continue, this one, continue, this one, continue, finished. So now it's one pattern. It will start here and it'll stitch all the way around and end here. So we're going to hit finished and we are going to save it. Save a pattern from the quilt, this one, continue. It's called, because I use Simply Feathered Border Corner for this, that's the name it's put here. So I'm just going to delete back to Simply Feathered and put motif at the end. So it's a Simply Feathered motif. Enter, and it will go in our project catalogue. Select. So now it's saved. So add edit pattern, delete pattern. We can do select all. Continue. Yes. Okay, so the final one, I'm going to show you how to create is the lob continuous. Like I said before, some of you may have this already. Others may not, so we'll create it. Add pattern, block pattern, use current block, we'll choose lob, continue. Right now you see lob starts and ends right here. It's a closed pattern, it's not open, so we can't use it as a line pattern or as a pantograph or as a continuous pattern. So in order to make it continuous, I'm going to make it double stitch that line there. So I'm going to hit finished, add pattern, block pattern, use current block, and I'm going to the geometric catalogue for arc 2, this one. Select it, continue, and as it happens, there it is. IQ put it right on top. What I want to do is I need to grab the start point, snap it there, make sure it's, let's zoom right in, sure it's right there. Pan over. Yeah. And it ends right there. That's good. Don't worry about these slightly angular lines. They stitch out smoothly. Zoom full. So we're finished. Now we have to combine lob with that arc too. So combine patterns. So we'll do this. Continue. And now, because that line's right on top of the other one, it's kind of hard sometimes to select them. Let's zoom in. You'll know you've selected it because you'll see the message change down here. So let's see if I can touch it. There. I touched it. See, this popped up. So I knew I had touched that line. Continue. Finished. And now we're going to save this. Finished. Save quilt pattern. Save a pattern from the quilt. This. Continue. Let's call it lob. It's lob space. Cont is short for continuous, so that's what I'm going to put there. Enter, and it will go into my project catalogue. Select. So now we've created all the patterns that we're going to use on our project, and so next week we will start putting them onto our project.